What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. In today's video I'll be showcasing you guys the top 10 PvP units that will carry you long term in PvP. But before I get started on the video, make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and also turn on that post notification bell so that you guys can always stay tuned as well to when I post new videos. I'd really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here on the channel, I make various videos and guides on games such as Ether Gazer and Harry Potter's Magic Awaken. So if you guys are interested in those games, you can go ahead and click the channel down below and start watching those videos. Now anyways, let's get started. So top 10 characters that will carry you in PvP. So I've been testing out a couple characters in PvP. If you guys watch my recent videos, I've tested out this team in PvP. I've tested out this team so far. This team's been really good. Like, I'm already like rank 97. I'm like one of the top 100 people in the leaderboard right now in my server. So this team is really good. And another team that I've been using as well, I've been using Rachel, Evan, Wingnan, Karaka, and Bam. But anyways, top 10 characters that will carry you. First character is Evan for sure. Evan in PvP is just busted. He has to be one of the best supports in the game because the immortality buff and him being able to heal you, his healing is really amazing. Like, his healing can go over like 300,000. It's absolutely insane. So his healing is really good. And not only that, he can also provide energy. So Evan is just an all-around really good character. And when you get his exclusive equipment, he becomes way stronger because, as you can see right here, Evan restores the HP of all of his allies by 100% of his attack when hunger activates. So the more you upgrade his exclusive equipment, the more he will become a better support. Like in level 4, he will grant a debuff immunity to all his allies for 4 seconds when hunger activates. So he's just a really good support unit. He works in every single team because he's just that support, man. Evan is just him. So he's a really good character. Our second character, if you guys seen the thumbnail, is Bam for sure. Bam is a really good support. His energy restoration and him buffing up attack is absolutely insane, because as you can see right here, for his special move, he'll deal 300% of his attack as damage to the enemy with the highest attack. In addition, he stuns the enemy for 3 seconds and decreases their energy by 200. Bam's next 5 basic attacks are enhanced to Black March slashes, increasing his attack coefficient by 110% and decreasing the target's energy by 20. Bam becomes immune to status effects while the Black March is ignited. So his special move, he can basically stun, do damage, and steal the enemy's energy, which is absolutely insane. So Bam is a really good character. He can recover energy, increase their attack, and also increase their defense. Really strong support. He's also there with Evan. So yeah, Bam, he's a really good character. He will definitely carry you far in PvP. Now for the next character, I'm definitely going to go with the new SSR, Hwaryun. Hwaryun is a really good support. Showcased her. If you guys haven't watched my videos, she's been absolutely carrying me in PvP. Absolutely going insane. Her support capabilities are really strong, and when you upgrade her exclusive equipment, it gets better and better. So as you can see right here, her level 1, Hwaryun's critical hit rate increases by an additional 10% when an ally attacks a weak point enemy. That's not bad. Basically allows her to do more damage. Her level 2 creates a barrier equal to 300% of her attack for 2 seconds every time a weak point enemy takes a critical hit. Her level 2 is crazy because that barrier will allow her to stay on the field longer and she'll be able to take more damage. So when you upgrade her exclusive equipment, you're going to get a bunch of benefits from her, and she's going to become stronger and stronger, and she's going to become a way better support. Like, honestly, out of every support in this game, out of all the supports in the game, her damage as a support is crazy. Like, I don't even think she's like a support. She's more of like a sub DPS type character because her damage, she can go over like 300,000. It's really good. So she's definitely one of the top 10 and she will carry you far. But just a reminder, in order for her to carry you really far in PvP, you have to at least have six copies of her, because if you don't, then she will die quickly if you're going up against blue units. So if you're going up against a team and that team is using a blue unit, like they're using a blue team, she's gonna die instantly because red is weak against blue. But if you have like 6 copies of her, then you'll be able to receive this buff right here, decreased damage taken from blue element plus 50%. So you definitely want to have 6 copies of her so that she can receive that damage reduction buff. So she's definitely one of the top 10. Next character I'm going for is for sure Hatz. This character, like I said, really strong DPS character. You want to have a bunch of copies of him so that he'll be able to do more damage and he'll be able to, you know, heal himself more, because the more crit hits he lands, the more he can heal himself. So Hatz is a really good character, really good damage. Upgrade his exclusive equipment. You can see he'll be able to increase his healing, which means like he'll be more tankier and he'll be able to stay on the field longer. So Hatz is definitely one of the top 10 characters that will carry you in PvP. Now for 5th is Karaka. Now Karaka is a really strong tank, especially the fact that out of all the tanks in the game so far, his damage as a tank is crazy because he has the, I think he can, he can revive himself. So he's kind of similar to Wingnan, because Wingnan also have the revive ability as well. When he is about to die, he can revive himself. So Karaka also has the same, you know, a similar, you know, type of mechanic with Wingnan. So when you're about to kill Karaka, he can revive himself. But the good thing about Karaka is he has this skill where he'll basically take this orb. Let me see if I can find it. That's the 6 orbs. Yeah, his ultimate. So his special move is what makes him extremely good. The fact that he creates an orb, he'll create an orb, and then when enemies are attacking him, he will be immune to status effects while he's creating the orb. So he's basically going to take less damage while he's creating that orb. And once he's done charging up that orb, and as soon as he, you know, pushes out the attack, as soon as he lets the attack off, he will do so much damage. He will literally destroy half of the enemy's team in a second because his special move just does a lot of damage. So Karaka is definitely up there to be one of the top characters that will carry you in PvP. Really good character. So that was our, I think that was our, yeah, that was our 5th. Now for our 6th character, I'm going to go with this guy right here. Coon is a really good support because of his stun capabilities. The fact that he's able to stun a group of enemy units, like the fact that he has like an AoE stun in his kit, just makes him so good. So as you can see right here, his special move will basically decrease the enemy's defense by 20%, and he will also paralyze the enemy. So his special move is really strong and really good. So let's say you're using a Karaka and then your Karaka is charging up, like he's charging up the orb. Coon will be able to stun the enemy and they won't be able to move, and then Karaka will let them move off and then they're all dead. So Karaka will definitely be good if you have Coon. If you paired them up together, really good. So yeah, Coon is definitely up there because he's a really amazing support, a good debuffer, and also a really good stun unit. And also he'll basically enhance all of your purple allies attacks by 16%, which is really good. Now for our 7th character, I don't really have these characters, but I've seen their skills because you're able to read their skills. And so far, this character right here, I think you call it Mashni. This character is really good. Now, if you guys watched my summon video, I was about to get her, but I wanted a Karaka instead. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted a different SSR plus, but this character is really strong. She's really good because of, I think she has an ability where she can basically be immortal. Like she won't die. Like if she's about to die, she will literally take 0 damage. Like she will take 0 damage. I think I forgot which part it was, but okay, here it is. Data Mashni's attack increases by 120% and her HP will not drop below 1. Her passive is really crazy because if you don't have a tank, Coon Mashni will be an amazing unit to put in your front row. Like if you're using your Karaka, she'll be amazing with Karaka because one, she doesn't die, and two, her attack capabilities are crazy. So her active right here, as you can see, Data Mashni discharges Lightning Shinsu to deal 400% of her attack as damage to nearby enemies. Any enemies she hits are stunned for 3 seconds. So she also stuns, and we all know stun in PvP is just broken. Whenever you're playing a game and then there's PvP involved in that game, if there's a unit that can stun, basically your unit can't do anything unless you have a character like let's say Coon will basically place a status immune effect where basically you will be immune to stun effects. So stunning is very strong except when there's units who can counter it, but she can really do good stun in PvP. So that's the main reason why she's really good. She doesn't die, does decent damage, and she can also stun. So she's a really good character, and she also has like some type of Shinsu barrier that deals, like, she basically debuffs enemy units when they're inside of that Shinsu barrier. As you can see, enemies inside the Shinsu barrier deal 40% less damage to Data Mashni. So she creates a barrier, enemies will be able to do less damage when they're attacking her, which is really crazy. So yeah, Data Mashni, really good character. Now for the next one in PvP, I'm definitely gonna go with this guy right here for sure. I've read his kit, Zahar. Zahar is really good. He is a really good character. His special move, I think his special move is bugged because I went up against a couple people in PvP and his special move did like 0 damage. I don't know. He's supposed to do damage with his ultimate. I don't know why it's not doing damage because it says, I don't know how to say that, but Lacalicus bites into the enemy 2 times to deal 400% of Data's Zahar's attack as damage per hit, applying bleed to enemies hit for 10 seconds and knocking them down for 2 seconds. Bleeding targets take 40% of his attack as damage every second. So he basically has like different tiers. He basically has like different weapons. That's what his special move is all about. But for some reason his just doesn't do damage. I don't know why, but this character is really good. He has a good passive, good actives. Like his whole kit is very like PvP friendly. So he's a really good character. As you can see, he has magic resistance involved in his kit. He has evasion. So we all know evasion is extremely good. Data Zahar's evasion increases by 200 for 10 seconds. So if you guys haven't watched my last video on Huarun, I basically said in that video that evasion is really important because if you're building like a tank unit, and let's say your tank unit is dying a lot faster, like your tank unit is dying immediately, you want to put evasion on because evasion will basically allow your unit to take less damage against opponents. Not only taking less damage, but the chances of the enemy hitting you is like increased. So that's why when you guys are playing matches, you always see miss on the screen. Miss basically means that the enemy can't hit you because your evasion is high. So evasion is really good, and that's why Zahar is really good because of that 200 evasion increase. So that is Zahar really good. He can survive for a long time in PvP for sure. I think that was our 7th. 1, 2, 3. That was our 8th. Now is our 9th. So for our 9th character, not her. What am I doing? 9th character in PvP that will really carry you far. Go back over here. I mean, of course, it's her right here. This character, Evankill. Evankill is really strong in PvP. Really good character. When you pair her up with Huarun, she's going to do so much damage. It's crazy. This character is really strong. So the reason why she's really good, so if you read her kit right here, her special move, Evankill summons an orb, dealing 400% of her attack as damage to nearby enemies every second for 4 seconds. She deals 600% of her attack as damage every second against enemies close to the orb. Evankill becomes invincible while using this skill. Her special move is crazy because of this invincibility. So imagine you have an Evan in your team and she uses her special move, she's invincible, and then on top of that, Evan is going to use a special move and she's going to be invincible after she uses her special move. That's crazy. So the special move is really strong. And for her passive, she decreases the HP recovery amount of her target by 50% for 5 seconds. So she's basically like a good debuffer against units who will receive a lot of, you know, HP regen. So if you're going up against a tank unit who's taking a lot of damage, you definitely want to use Evankill, because Evankill will decrease the HP recovery if that tank unit is, you know, taking a lot of health from like their Evan, for example. Or if the enemy is using Hatz and Hatz is, you know, receiving a lot of HP, you definitely want to use Evankill, because Evankill, I feel like Evankill is a really good counter against Hatz because of this HP recovery debuff. Because as you guys know, Hatz, his passive has like a HP regen whenever he lands a crit hit. So I wonder if that can basically decrease, like can her passive decrease the HP recovery he receives in his passive? I don't know, but she's a pretty good counter against Hatz. And for her active, you know, she uses powerful flames to deal 400% for attack as damage to the enemy with the lowest defense. In addition, Evankill recovers HP equal to 30% of the damage dealt. Evankill becomes immune to status effects while using this skill. So not only does she have invincibility, she also has immunity to status effects. So let's say the other team is using a Coon and that Coon is about to stun you. Well, if she uses her active, she won't be able to get stunned. So Evankill is a really strong character. This attack right here is also strong as well, knocking down enemies for 2 seconds, creating a huge fire tornado. She's just really strong, really good DPS character for sure. So for our final character, this one is going to be tough. But for our final character that's really good in PvP, I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm gonna go with Rachel. Rachel in PvP, if you put her in the right team, she is going to be a problem for sure, because of this skill right here. Now, this skill, I think this skill is basically when she creates like a vortex in like all of your ally units, like all of the enemy units, they're going to be like, you know, going around in that vortex. I think that's what this is. Rachel summons a lighthouse above the area where the enemies are most concentrated, dealing 100% of her attack as damage every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds. She then pulls the enemies towards the lighthouse. Yeah, this is it. Her defense increases by 4% for 10 seconds for each enemy that takes damage. Now the defense increase, it can be good. I wish that instead of her receiving that defense increase, I wish it was more like she receives like a damage reduction. Like she receives a damage reduction by 4% for every 10 seconds for each enemy that takes damage. So let's say if there's 5 enemies taking damage from, you know, this lighthouse attack, she'll receive 16% damage reduction. I feel like damage reduction is just a way better stat. It's a way better status effect than just regular defense. But this active is really strong because it can group up a lot of your enemies, and then when you keep them in one spot, if you're using a Karaka, for example, Karaka will basically melt everybody. So I feel like she's a really good pair with Karaka in PvP for sure. So she's a really strong unit. She can do a lot of damage. Her passive is really good as well when she links herself with your ally unit. The only flaw is the fact that when she links herself, she's going to take some of that ally's energy. I think this is it. She's gonna steal, yeah, she steals 100 energy from a linked ally. Yeah, so I feel like that's like the only flaw. You don't want to use her in a team where, let's say your DPS or your tank, their energy is always low. You definitely don't want to use her in that team because she's just gonna steal their energy. But she's a really good unit, especially this active right here, space compression, really strong because of that AoE group attack, which is really good. So those are the top 10 characters that I recommend you guys to use in PvP. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Now, I know I left out this character right here, which is Coon Mashni. The reason why I left her out is because, one, I haven't really played with this character at all. I can read her skill, but I went up against her in PvP, and I'm not gonna lie, I was able to defeat almost every single team that has her in it. Like every team that has Coon Mashni, and like whichever player I'm going up against, if Coon Mashni is involved, I always destroy that team. So that's why I didn't really include her, because I feel like she's really easy to counter. You just have to really know what you're doing and build the right team, because she's a ranged unit. And if you have like a Hwarun will like immediately target her, and then everyone's just gonna go for and like take her out. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to get her myself and test her out. But that's my top 10. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree, disagree? Write it down in the comment section down below what you guys think. But anyways, I'll be leaving a video right there. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Peace.